representing Texas Elite Fight Club from Amarillo, Texas.
Alrighty, guys. Episode 3. We actually got 4 guests here. You can only see 2 of us, hopefully, on camera. But episode 3 of the Fight Garage.
Yes, sir.
Returning guest, we got Victor Gutierrez and your host, Parisi Ruelas.
We're back.
Starting off with this, what do you think about weightlifting and boxing? Do you think boxers should be lifting weights? Because I know there's like this premise that a lot of people say you shouldn't be weightlifting because it's going to make you slow. But I believe like you do have to have some muscle in order to I think it'll help your cardio. I mean, it could only benefit you having some muscle.
Yeah. Honestly, it's pretty good. I think everybody should do it. What me and Joel got to whenever we first started training with you is we started thinking like, man, we should stop lifting because we were lifting so heavy and so hard.
You guys were big.
Yeah,
I remember when you first came, y'all were big.
Yeah, I was pretty heavy, like probably 190, and I was like, man, I gotta get some speed, so let me shred a little bit off, and it really helped. But now, like that, I'm into boxing and everything. I want a little bit more power, and I just want to get my physique back up as well, and that's why I've been lifting a lot, and I think it does help. I really think it does because I'm feeling a lot stronger in my punches, and I mean, you got to be able to make sure your muscles can be fatigued and you'll just keep going, you know?
I feel like that's what I lacked when I first started off because, like, I guess it's what I would hear that you're not supposed to lift, I guess doing your push-ups and sit-ups, and that's not enough. I feel like it's evolved to where, like, you have to do a bit of strength training. Yeah. You got to not get bigger, but strength is definitely a big part of it, and I feel like that's what I've been focusing on right now. Like, for example, I couldn't even sit in my stance. My legs would get so tired, I'd be shaking, and that was always my downfall, I guess, was my strength training. So I really been focusing on that.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. I mean, you definitely got to be conditioned with your muscles. And shit, what was I gonna say?
I had another question. As far as I've been seeing this tossed around a lot, but what do you think is more dangerous, boxing or MMA?
Definitely MMA. I don't know. Just
really?
Yeah,
I think
ahead.
So. Tell me your part,
bro. Get a leg kick to the head. That might be pretty wild, you know?
Yeah, I'd be seeing people comparing it to a baseball bat, and I just can't imagine. I mean, just the sound. I'm not there live. Yeah. I've seen a couple events, MMA events live, and just a shin contact sounds crazy, but I think on paper it's proven that there's more deaths in boxing. Why do you think that is?
Damn. Okay. I
mean, there's actually really more statistically more deaths in boxing, and it just comes down to head damage. Like, you see a guy get in a title fight, you got 12 rounds, that's 36 minutes. You see a guy get knocked down in the first round, and they just keep letting him up. So, for example, Devin Haney, I know I keep going back to this, but Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, he actually got knocked down unofficially like 6 times because he would get hurt really bad and then tie up, and Ryan would push him, and then they would be like, oh, it's not a knockdown because you pushed him. But he was so hurt that he's grabbing legs, he's grabbing whatever. Versus in MMA, that first time I clip you, I'm finishing you right then and there. Yeah. So, like, it looks terrible. Don't get me wrong. I can't imagine what a bare elbow, a sharp elbow to the forehead feels like.
Yeah. I think they protect you a little bit better just because it's a little more dangerous. Like, they don't let it go as bad as boxing. I mean, some people get their heads rocked, bro, in boxing. Like, they were checking the roof, fucking snapping their necks. And, I mean, it's a lot of damage for sure. So, I mean, it makes sense that there's that many, like, deaths, I guess.
Yeah, like, I guess the death is, like, not something you want to hear.
No, definitely
But a big thing in MMA is, like, they cut a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But so do boxers. So why is there – it comes back to the head trauma. Like, you see guys at the end of the fight took 500 punches throughout the course of 12 rounds. So it's like, damn, like 500 punches, and you got knocked down 4 times when you should have been finished in that first initial knockdown. Yeah. Like, you can go after somebody, and I feel like that's where you get most of the finishes. It's rare where, like, you're so hurt that you recover. Yeah, there's a wrestling. Yeah, there's jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, but I think it's kind of good that you let somebody get finished then and there versus standing him up, letting him get knocked down 4 times, 6 times. That's bad, bro. It's like
at that point,
the swelling, the blood in your brain. You're not supposed to get, just clock 6 times.
You gotta think about the fighter at the end of the day. I mean, especially if he's dropped that many times. I mean, the damage is definitely.
And in Pride, I don't know if you know, Pride used to be the biggest thing before the UFC. So you had like this big organization, Japanese organization, Pride, and they allowed soccer kicks. So, so let's say I knock you down and you're on the floor, and the UFC, that's crazy. And the UFC, it's a downed opponent, so I'm not allowed to kick you. I can kick you and knee you to the body, which is fair game. But you see guys where like back in the day, they had shoes on. Bro, you got somebody with wrestling shoes on and somebody on all fours, and you just a kick to the face, bro. That's Neanderthal hour, bro. That's crazy.
That's true brawling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In the backyard.
That's why they didn't let it be legalized, like in the United States, because you'd see guys brutally getting kicked and finished. And even looking back, the first tournament, it's crazy because in the first UFC 1, you could just say whatever. So I could come off the street. I'm 300 pounds overweight. I've never punched anybody in the face.
I've been doing steroids for 5 months.
Exactly. And I could just say, I'm a big, scary looking guy, right? I'm 300 pounds. This was one of the competitors. And I think he was a legit. You know how there's an insult where you call somebody a taxi driver? They're like, this guy fought a taxi driver. It's just another word for nobody.
Yeah.
And he was a legit taxi driver, and he was just a big, overweight guy. But he was 6'4", like 300 pounds, 340, something crazy. And he entered the tournament, and back then you could say whatever. So he put down, he was like 256 and 0.
Oh, hell no.
And these guys were like, damn, like put him in. So they put him in the tournament, and sure enough, I think he had roided out Vitor Belfort in the first round of the tournament, knocked him out within like 10 seconds, and this guy was just out on the floor. And I mean, back in the day, you could just they call it bullshito. Bullshito? Yeah. Like, you know how there's like Tai Chi, there's all these MMA, martial arts, and bullshito's like, you know, that's bullshit. It's not real.
Yeah.
So this guy was not a real like MMA practitioner.
Yeah, he was just sneak in
some guy off the street, exactly. Yeah. And then you had wrestlers that were all roided out, that looked huge, that I guess had some form of wrestling.
Yeah.
So I guess
anybody.
And when the smallest guy, which was Royce Gracie, when he won the whole tournament, it was like, everybody was like, you need jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is the best base. But what do you think the best base for MMA is?
I think wrestling, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's pretty biased, but I think so. Just because like the hard work they have to put in with the sport definitely builds your mental, and then like, I don't know, you're pushed to be like no other, honestly, in wrestling. So you're definitely gonna need that at the end of the day for MMA or just any sort of combat sports. So I think it's wrestling.
I mean, I think so too. I think wrestling is definitely like a safe, I guess, base to have, just because at the end of the day, you're getting hurt, you can set up a shot and you can get your bearings back while you're on the ground trying to find control. But I mean, I'm seeing a lot of like, you have guys that are strikers that are taking over, like for example right now,
definitely
Poatan and stuff. But that comes back to, I feel like it's his insane power. Like, it's crazy to have power like that, one punch, like legit one punch knockout power. Yeah. He might be the first 3-divisional world champion in the UFC. That's, I mean, 2 division is insane. To be a 3 division, because he's just, I don't know how he made 185. Like, how is this guy walking around at 230 making 185?
Bro, that's insane. I wonder how long it takes for him to like.
Man, he's definitely killing himself. How do you think we could fix that, like, weight cutting issue? Because one championship has a hydration clause. So just like in wrestling, you hydrate and then you pee in a cup, you do the whole process. They'll test your fat and they see how much weight you can actually lose. Yeah. So you're doing it safely. I guess in a sense, cutting weight is never safe, I don't think. But like, how are they allowing someone like that's 230 in the off season or regular, when he's feeling good, when he's eating all right, even at 230 he looks lean. Yeah. So I'm like, how the hell did he even make 185 for almost a decade.
Imagine if they weighed in like right before they stepped in to the fight.
That's what they've been saying, that they want to implement that just to see, like, out of curiosity.
Really?
Like, what are you weighing in? But for now he's fighting at 205, and I think he weighed in at like 225 or 35. I'm not sure, but that's insane. Like,
yeah, that's two very big different like weight classes.
Like, for example, you fought at 170. Amateurs is different. I think. Do you think doing it the day of would help out?
Like weighing in?
Yeah, like you weigh in the day of and you fight that day. Like, you think
so.
that'll help from keeping from people cutting so much weight?
I think so, yeah. Just because like you'd have to make sure you're able to perform at the end of the day, so you're not gonna kill yourself like how all these other people are, and they'll drain every ounce of water in them until they're freaking raising, and then they're like, I made it.
Even me, bro, like cutting a few pounds, like in the amateurs, when I would cut maybe 3 to 4 pounds, like you feel it. You feel it the next day, like you're there at weigh-ins, you're hopping on the scale, and the first Pedialyte or whatever you take, you'll feel it in the fight. I feel like I felt sluggish. There were some fights where I didn't take my diet seriously leading up to it, and I would cut a lot of weight at the last minute. And fighting the day of, you'd weigh in at 9, and then you're fighting by 2 p.m. Yeah. And I'd be real messed up. It's not enough time to rehydrate. And they say that I don't know if it's true. Jamie, fact check me. That the brain is the last thing that gets the hydration back. So you dehydrate, you deplete your brain. It'll get into the body, and they don't get into the brain last. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. I heard. I think it was Rampage Jackson. I think he said that. I don't know. We'll have to fact check that. But
yeah, I've never heard of that. That makes sense though, because like, bro, some people get pretty stupid with their cutting.
I feel it. Yeah, I believe like when you do cut weight, even like moving around, even shadow boxing, I feel like the fluid is not in your head.
Yeah,
like
sometimes you can't even think straight. You're just like, I don't know, just mentally drained, which would be a perfect, I guess, example for that. Just being mentally drained while while cutting. You
think that's an advantage? Like, I guess when you show up to a fight, your opponent is a couple pounds over. I mean, I've had this happen to me where we both show up, I'm on weight, he's not on weight, and then they tell my coach, like, what do you want to do? You want to just, it's cool, no fight, or make him cut the weight? And then coach, I'm in my mind, I'm already like, go cut the weight, go, you got 2 pounds to go. And that just, I mean, I'm making you suffer. Whether you make it or not, I'm making you suffer more. Yeah. And I feel like you're going to, either your gas tank or your energy, like, it's going to be in the fight. You're going to feel that definitely.
Also coming in at fair odds. I mean, you both agreed to show up at said weight, so.
Bro, you'd be surprised, like, how unprofessional it is, like, behind closed doors.
I believe it, man.
Like, people be talking like, oh, I want to fight this person, I want to fight this person. And behind closed doors, it's like, nah, don't show me a contract, or I don't want to see that, I don't want to sign nothing. Like, it'd be pretty crazy. Even getting your paperwork done, like, you know, you got to get your physicals and everything done, and some people are just not professional, bro. I feel like you dealt with it in wrestling. Like, you don't step on the scale if you step on the scale and you're not on weight, I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
you're done. You're not wrestling.
In boxing.
I know you haven't had your first loss, but in wrestling, like, setbacks, how would you come back for that? How do you come back from, like, a big loss? Maybe you got pinned, maybe you got hurt, knocked down. Like, how do you come back from that?
If anything, it's never a loss, it's always a lesson. But you just learn what you did wrong and then fix it, you know? That's how I would always come back. And what I would do if I end up losing or anything. I mean, losses, I would come and go.
Part of life.
Exactly. And you just got to learn to take them, roll the punches.
I remember, I want to ask you this, just, I guess, more personal. Like, what does it feel like when, I guess, getting hurt? Because, I mean, if you've been boxing long enough, if you've never been hurt, then, I mean, you're not in the right, not saying you should go out and get hurt, but, I mean, getting your bell rung. Like, I've gone, the first person that ever hurt me was my brother, Diego, because I didn't have anybody to spar.
Yeah.
And I remember he was wild, bro. Like, This was back then when he was probably like 230.
Oh shit.
And I was still a 138, 140. I was smaller. Yeah, we were sparring, and he was crazy, bro. Like, he was just throwing crazy hooks because we didn't know, bro. So we were just sparring for fun in the ring. And I just happened to roll into one, bro. Roll into, I think it was a right hook. Boom, I just see stars. And, man, I've never been mad in sparring. Even to this day, I feel like I've always kept my cool, but it's just something about, like, that's your brother and stuff. Yeah. That, I was so mad, bro. I just wanted to take his head off. And he touched me again with, like, another hook, because he was just throwing hooks, bro. Like, crazy punches. And I caught another one on the glove, and I was like, if I let my anger take over, he's gonna knock me the fuck out. Like, do you feel like that changes somebody as far as, like, your confidence? Like, let's say you go into a fight. I've seen this happen a lot, where you got somebody that's, like, really cocky, and their whole personality is their confidence. That's what they project. Like,
that I'm the
Prince
shit.
Nassim, Broner, someone like Broly, like, big names that, like, exactly, they're the biggest. And when they take their first loss or they're knocked out, all that mystique, all that bravado, like, isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think that comes down to, as far as why don't you think they come back from that?
I think it's because they built themselves up too high. They put, expectations on themselves that they ended up not meeting, and that was their whole stigma, their whole thing. So the fact that they would take a loss and they're unbeatable in their eyes,
you kind of have to have that delusion.
And a little, yeah.
I feel like
you definitely have
to try to be the best. I feel like you kind of have to have that delusion. And, like, you see guys, like, on social media that,
Floyd, like, is a perfect example of it. That boy, he did it. So, and he can talk all that shit all he wants, because
he's still funny. He's like 48, 49. Yeah, freaking, he's still out here making money. Mm-hmm. But I think, like, for me, or not even for me, but I've seen other guys where it's, like you said, it's not there no more. Like, someone shuts their lights out, or that they get knocked out, and they just don't mentally recover. I feel like I had seen a video of Connor when he was hungry, when he was young, when he was up and coming before all the money. And it sucks because, like, he suffers from success. It's crazy to say, but
it's
like
true.
Hagler used to say, you don't want to wake up and run when you're in satin sheets. Mm-hmm. Because when you're at that point, what is there else to do? He was a 2-division world champion, and what is there to do after that? Yeah. I get you want to come back because you love fighting, but do you think, I asked Willie this on the last one, do you think money changes someone?
Oh, definitely. It amplifies who you really are. At the end of the day, Connor fought for all that wealth, and then he got his wealth, and then he's like, well, I'm chilling. I made it now.
Making too much money, bro. Like, freaking Lamborghini yacht. Like, that's crazy. I think it comes down to, I guess, he's doing a lot of things on the outside. And I feel like he's too far ahead. Not too far ahead, but he's too far out to, I guess, come back in. You're not. Yeah. Everybody has left you.
The hunger will never be there again. Because the sport got him out of the struggle. And, for you to be in the struggle and want to get out, that's the hardest you're going to try. Unless there's a goal that you can put bigger than that. And you keep chasing it,
And speaking on that, like, why do you want to fight? I get asked this a lot. Why trade punches? Why get hit in the face? Like, why did you want to come in and do that?
This crazy ass sport?
Yeah,
just because I want to be capable, man. I want to be able to just handle myself at the end of the day. I never want to be put in a scenario where, like, I'm not able to come out of that room. If it's 1-on-1, just like me and you, we got to mess each other up, and one person leaves. Like, I will not lose, bro. I do not want to lose.
So, like, in the beginning when you started,
it's stupid, but it's true.
Was it just? Everybody wants to, like, walk into a room and be like, oh, like, I'm the alpha male or whatever. Like, not even alpha. That's a dumb word, but just be like, I could take everybody here. Like, everybody has. Even if you don't say so, everybody has that energy in their head. I feel like everybody's like, oh, I'm that guy. When you're.
And another big thing, you got to be able to protect your family as well at the end of the day. And I definitely want to raise a big family, and I'm gonna have to protect some shit that I'm gonna work for. And I mean, fighting at the end of the day is something that comes down to. I mean, you got to fight for a lot of shit.
If you had kids, and let's say they're doing, would you want them to do the same footsteps as you as far as like fighting?
I would definitely want them to train. Hell yeah. Just because like I want them to be prepared. I want them to get punched in the face, get humbled, and know the realities of life, and not just be walking with their head high thinking that they are owed everything.
For sure.
Bro.
It'll humble you.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people just walk through this world thinking that they're owed everything without working for shit. So like boxing will help kind of show you a little bit. You gotta work
some
for
people
it.
that gotta get punched in the face sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's like I guess 5 years ahead, like what's your goal? What are you doing with this? Because I mean, you're not just, I feel like you're super consistent. What is it for? What are you doing?
I definitely want to maybe use it to try and get out of work. I mean, being able to get paid while fighting, I mean, that's pretty nice. But I definitely just want to try and continue winning and like build the best version of myself. I don't know, like I could say like world champion or whatever, but I feel like I'd be lying to myself. I just want to be like, I want to be great, and I mean great in my own way.
So you haven't thought about it, like as far as pro and the road?
I would definitely like. I would love to go pro. I mean, I feel like it's just a matter of time until that gets to me. But like, I don't know. I just want to. I want to do good as fuck, honestly.
Yeah, like once you see the other levels, I feel like you'll know. But what I've seen, like the growth, it's like it's not out of the question.
Yeah.
Is MMA out of the question?
No, definitely not, bro.
Would
I feel like I'm about to do everything.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like right now,
I'm in Thailand doing Muay Thai. I'm being in MMA cage.
The biggest thing, bro, is like when I get asked a lot too. Like if I'm gonna do MMA, and I be teasing it, knowing damn well I'm not gonna do no damn MMA, just cause like I don't know. It's like I gotta put in the contract like I can kick you, but you can't kick me.
right.
No. But I really don't, unless like it's crazy money or something. Like I make it in boxing, I'm a world champ or something, and I'm fighting a specific somebody, whatever. Like, if the money's right, obviously. Like,
yeah, I would do it to test myself. At the end of the day, I want to see like if I could handle that shit too.
Yeah.
I want to
so
win.
like, let's do I guess scenarios. Like, who would you want to fight in MMA that you think you'd have a chance with? Anybody. It don't matter about weight classes. Let's just fake scenario. That once you're at your best version, you still got a couple years. Like if you fully trained in it, like this is looking ahead. Like who do you think? Like you can pick them from the past. Anyone. Who do you think?
I don't know. That's tough. That's a lot of fighters, honestly.
I know everybody wants to be like put themselves against the GOAT. So like George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Like how would I do or whatever. Everybody like Khabib, like
John Jones, I guess. Sure, bro. That'd be pretty
that's
cool.
a call out.
Yeah. Let's run it, bro. I want to see. Nah, he'd freaking leg drop.
No, yeah, bro. The
stomach
freaking
and
the elbow. Honestly, bro, this is crazy. But if I was heavyweight, I'd want to fight Francis Ngannou just to see what that power feels like.
Yeah, that is,
I know
bro.
this is like super dumb, bro, and like it's like me like asking for a punch in the face.
Yeah.
But I want like the way people react to his power is like insane. Power is like a crazy thing.
No way. No way it's real.
Power is like a crazy thing, bro. And like, how are you gonna tell me that this dude hits like a Ford Escort going 50 miles an hour? Like, that's insane, bro. Like, even just a jab. Like, when you're sparring somebody new or you at a different gym and just catching somebody's jab, you feel automatically the power. You're like, oh, this guy hits hard or this guy doesn't hit hard. Off the jab, you don't have to hit me hard. Like, I just got to feel it. Like if I catch your punch, I'm like, oh, this guy hits solid.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to. I don't have to feel your full force. Mm-hmm. For those that do MMA or do boxing or any kind of combat sports, kickboxing, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say all you have to do is catch your first punch. It don't have to land. You can catch it on the glove, but you know when someone has like power. It's like damn, like. I'm not trying to get hit by this guy, whether you are going light or not.
Yeah.
Like we have some guys in the gym, freaking Pancho, 16-year-old. Dude, he throws jab, I catch it. I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
yeah, he's got power, dude.
Exactly. Like, it's just natural. Like, he's a big kid, but you just feel it naturally. I would say same thing for speed. When you have, we used to have a guy in the gym that bro, like insanely fast, bro. Like you'd have to freaking just swing something when he'd throw, you'd have to swing with him, bro, because you would not see it, bro. Like he'd move around and then he'd explode, and freaking 5 punches had landed. By the time you're aware of what's going on, 5 punches already landed, bro. And it's like, damn, like it's crazy to be like I'm not gifted, bro. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the strongest. So it's like we gotta just put our feet down and work, bro. We just gotta work at it.
I definitely feel the same way, like about that as well. Just because, like, I don't feel naturally gifted in any like sort of way. I'm like the fastest ever or anything like that. But I definitely like stood my toes in the ground and did some work to try and get myself to where
like
I'm
to me, you have to control the things you can't control. So your technique, you can better it. Your timing, you can work on it. Your reflexes, your drills, knowing where to be. Your mind, like I feel like your mind is your biggest tool. Obviously. Yeah. You can do anything with your mind. If you can't mentally prepare yourself for the fight or you can't perform, like that's all mental. If I break down before the fight, it doesn't matter if I have crazy power, crazy speed.
You work 8 months straight, nonstop. But if you decide not to go out there and perform or even just like fight back, I mean, what all is it even worth for, you know?
Exactly. Like you have a lot of guys, even in wrestling, I would see and I would hear about. Like you have this guy that's a world champ in the gym, but could never perform. So like I'd hear tales about this mysterious guy that I don't see because it was before I was there. Yeah. They're like, man, this guy was an animal, but for some reason when the lights were on, he just could not perform. Like this guy was tearing state champs in the gym and pinning everybody, and nobody could take him down, but. For some reason, when he was under the bright lights, like it is different.
The pressure got him.
Like what do you? I guess how can you tell somebody to prepare for that, for the bright lights? Like what can you do?
I guess just to like focus on yourself, not think about it at all. Just be there, present in the moment, and because I feel like that's a lot of anxiety eating at you. It
is anxiety.
You know? So you got to get rid of the anxiety and just like be thankful.
But how do you get rid of it?
Being thankful, I feel like. I mean, I think, I don't know if this is true, but I heard it. When you're thankful, you cannot be like anxious. So like,
damn, I've never thought about that.
It's either the two, yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that, bro. For me, I get anxious and I'm like, if I can't beat this guy or I let him mentally get, I guess, ahead of me, then I don't belong here. Like to me, I haven't looked at it that way. Yeah. I guess that's something I could work on, but I just embrace it.
Yeah, and you can switch it to be like thank you that I'm here and that I've worked so hard to put myself into this position to try and get this victory. Or like,
damn, that's different, bro.
Like that. Yeah.
I've never thought about it that way. Who told you that?
To be honest, I feel like I just picked it up. Nobody really told me that. I don't know. I would like to say I'm very optimistic, and I don't like to be pessimistic or negative. And I mean, you gotta have a good mental when it comes to fighting
me,
as well.
like I feel like being real is my biggest tool. Like I'll get to the fight, whatever. I'll show up and I'll warm up. And when I'm warming up, I'm like, you hype yourself up. Like I'm good at this. I got a good jab. Like my movement. If worst case scenario, I can bite down my mouthpiece. I know I got a chin. Whatever. Yeah. Like I go to what I'm good at. My attributes. I would say. And I just embrace the fear and the anxiety. Yeah, I tell myself, like, if I lose and, like, the next day, like, nobody's going to care, bro.
Ooh.
I just turn my phone off. Go ahead.
And another thing, being thankful for that, that anxiety. I mean, because that just shows how much you care in that scenario, you know? So anytime I get, like, anxious, I'm like, okay, thank goodness this is it. Like, I'm getting it, you know? I'm living. I'm feeling the emotions.
Do you think that fear gasses you? Because I've had fights where, like, for one reason or another, this was, like, early on when I guess is that belief. When I wasn't as good and I was like, I know I'm not great here. I know I'm not great here. So I feel like that fear would take a toll on my stamina, I guess.
You think so?
On my, like, I felt like it would weaken me almost. Mm-hmm. And I remember feeling that the first time I wrestled. The first time I wrestled against somebody good, I had people in my ear telling me, oh, this guy's a freaking state champ. This guy's crazy.
He's gonna
this guy's gonna beat the crap out of you. And I was like, damn, like I guess I'm going out here to get slaughtered.
Yeah.
And I go and I'm like, this guy's not that good. And he takes me down and he's beating me. And then in my head, I'm like, dude, this guy's not that good. Why are you putting him up on a pedestal?
Yeah.
And I feel like from that point on, I gave myself a mental boost because I was like, don't ever put yourself down there, like, until you know what you're capable of, I guess.
And that's a lot of mental space that you're wasting as well. I mean, just imagine everything that you just said, like how much time and energy you're using in your head thinking about that when you could be using it to like, okay, how am I going to beat this guy?
Exactly, yeah. So, like, before the fight, everybody has their pre-fight ritual. Or before wrestling, whatever. Like, just something just something you do. Like, what is something... You tell me yours, I'll tell you mine right now.
To be honest,
it don't have to be weird. Like, what do you do before your match, before you spar, before like a hard training session? Like, anything, I guess we could learn or take notes on.
Honestly, I don't know. Just envisioning, I guess, the win. I mean, that's a big one, but I don't know. I wouldn't really do much. I pace a lot. I'm not gonna lie. That's something that I probably do.
I feel like I saw you moving a lot, but you look composed.
Yeah.
Like,
I try
you've been here before.
Yeah. I try and be calm. That's the main thing. I guess that'd be my ritual. It's just like staying chill.
For me, bro, it's weird, but I learned this. Like, I had to learn this through trial and error. But I like to sleep. I like to just lay there, and it'll be about before I'm up, and then I'll start getting up and moving around. And I'll warm up like quick, bro. I'll get a quick warm up, and it's when they tell me like, Precy, there's one more up. I'll just lay down, and in my head I'll play out the scenarios. And I feel like once I'm warming up, the warm up builds your confidence because you start feeling the small gloves. You start slipping punches, and it's like, oh, like I'm here. Like this is for real.
It's about to go down.
Excuse me. But that's something weird. Like when I didn't know, I would have like Jose like burn me out on the mid, so like I'd go into the fight gas, bro, because I don't know if it's the nerves or what, but I just like to be. To me, it's like I like to be lazy right before. And some people, like, I feel like I saw other teammates warming up like 5-6 bouts. That's at least like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah. I think I did it like three bouts early, but I was just already getting a little anxious, so I was like, I gotta move. I gotta get my body going because I just don't feel like comfortable staying still right now. And I wish I could sleep. I really do, but I feel like I would wake
sleep.
up.
I guess I shouldn't say
taking
sleep.
a nap or
like almost like
up.
meditating.
Yeah.
Like I try to keep my mind empty, pretty much. Like you want to just like no bad thoughts, no good thoughts. No, I'm not thinking about anything, bro.
Yeah.
Another question: when you were in the fight, did your mind wander? Did you lose focus? Because I know this is dumb. Like, how can you lose focus when you're getting punched in the face? But it's a real thing. Yeah. I've had fights where I'm like throwing punches, whatever, and it'll be in between rounds, and I'm like, bro, like, what am I having for dinner? And I'm like, why am I thinking about this, bro? Focus.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like I've heard of people thinking of this. Like, did this ever happen to you? Did this happen?
Not in this fight, luckily, no. I was pretty focused the whole time. I think I started losing a little bit of focus as soon as I finished the first round. Just because I was like, I started wondering like, oh crap, I got another round, and I got to make sure I have enough gas tank for the third round, and like I don't know, that's when you start to think a little bit more. Right before the third, it's like, okay, last round, let's go. Let's push it. First round is like, all right, like I'm in here, let's get this started. But like that was a good in between that kind of caught me like, okay, now what are you gonna think?
I feel like I get too ahead of myself, and I mean, for my coaches, and they know this, like, I'm thinking too far ahead to where, like, I'm in the first round and I'm setting things up and I'm rushing it. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm throwing a jab, I'm coming in with the hook, whatever. I'll get scatterbrained. So, like, the meditating before my fight, I feel like that helps me a lot.
Yeah, that brings you to the here.
Yeah, it kind of like, I guess you're zen or whatever, like, relaxes you in a way. Like, you see it on my wall, Mike Tyson and stuff. You see them crazy hooks, them uppercuts picking you up. And, like, to end a fight within, like, the first... Yeah, to end a fight within, like, the first 30 seconds is crazy. I remember, like, talking to old heads and telling them... No, them telling me, man, back in the day, we wouldn't even buy his pay-per-view. We'd just stand, like, outside of the store because, like, when they'd show the TVs on display, they'd sometimes have the fights. they're like, we just wait because we're not gonna spend $50, $40 when the fight's just gonna be freaking 10, 30 second long. So I mean, like, it's crazy to, I guess, to have insane power. It's and one of the biggest pay-per-view stars right now, like Tank Davis.
Yeah.
You have other champions in the weight, but what do people want to see is knockouts?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, a lot of people like to see someone get their ass whooped. So, I mean, those are a lot of the most famous fighters are people with insane knockout power.
With crazy power. Foreman, Tyson. I got James Toney.
Brother, I
Episode
appreciate
3.
you having me.
Audis.
See you.